Hello, back again. It's Monday, and I'm here doing another chapter reading. It is hot. Tomorrow's going to be cooler. We're reading from my first novel, if you can see it, The Magic Paintbrush. And we are on chapter 16 now, where it's just 3 chapters left. And this chapter is called Sunflowers. And I happen to bring my second novel with me, The Greatest Storm, all part of the series, The Books of 9 and 10 Penance. And the third book with me, The Tale of Yelzelski the Unicorn. Ooh, haunting. Okay, well, tonight's chapter, I got an echo here at the band shell. Tonight's chapter is kind of short. It's called Sunflowers. So let's see here. To recap where we were from last night, I don't know if I can get a better... It was hot today, so I came out a little later. But anyways, last Friday, we finished up with the Bourdon chapters. Ethan Bourdon, the man with the Picasso of a face. And I'm gonna, readjust where I sit here. And anyways, maybe I'll sit on these, get some light going. So last night we finished up with the Ethan Bourdon chapters, the man with the Picasso of a face. And he just battled it out with Botticelli in the sea. And I wish I could have, there's the art, I have art in the book, in the Kindle version, as I've said before, online. It's on sale for $2.99. I am an author, so I'm struggling. You guys wanna, if you like the content, go check out the book on Kindle. Leave me a review. It's got beautiful art in there, but I had a piece I wanted to talk about that I did for the novel. It's called The Sea Storm, and it's patterned after a William Turner painting. William Turner did a painting called Hannibal Crossing the Alps, and I redid that piece of art. Only it's a tree serpent emerging from the sea, attacking the boat that Ethan Bourdon and Henry Rayburn are on. So I thought it was a nice piece of art, creative piece of art that I made for the book. But anyways, hey bro. Anyways, tonight's chapter is kind of short. So now we're back at the museum, and Stefan Vermeer and Aidan Fragonard, the boy trapped in the painting, are breaking to talk about what they had, Ethan Bourdon's story. Hello. I don't know if I think this guy. All right, well anyways. But yeah, so I thought tonight it's a short chapter. I brought the other 2 books with me. But I'll read this chapter and maybe I'll talk about whatever, art history, whatever. If there's people still listening, I'll talk about something. But anyways, I'll get into the chapter. It's kind of short. It's called Sunflowers, obviously named after Vincent van Gogh's painting Sunflowers. And this is the last chapter with Stefan Vermeer and Aidan Fragonard at the museum. So we're nearing the end. And the chapter after this, I'll get to that later, but I think you guys are going to like it. It's called Algebraic Equation of a Madman. But this one's called Sunflowers. Here we go. From the book, The Magic Paintbrush. That's me, I wrote it. There must be something wrong with that cuckoo clock. It's gone off on another tantrum. Why, that bird never seems to stop whistling, especially in the morning. Fragonard, the museum doesn't have a... Never mind. So what happened next? Oh, I know you would like to hear the rest, but it's getting late and nearing dawn. I'm awful tired. Can't we continue this story another time? Please, I have to know how it ends. Fragonard yawned. Well, I suppose I could stay up a little later tonight. I'm sure I can finish telling my story before the early morning bell begins to ring. That would be wonderful. Say, before I continue, why don't you fetch another painting for me to view? All right, I'll go find one. Anything in particular? No, not in particular. You pick one out again. I like the ones you find in that other room. You seem to have an eye for fine art. Okay, I'll see if I can find one to end the story with. Stefan wandered into the other room. He looked over the paintings and thought about the achievements of all those who had gone before him. Each one of these artists struggled in some way, yet overcame the odds and ended up hanging on the walls of this museum. The stories they could tell and the strokes behind the artists. If only they were animated like his friend in the painting. Then he saw it, a double rainbow, and it was beaming bright with colors. He knew Fragonard would love it, so he lifted the painting off the wall and brought it back to him. Fragonard, look what I found. You do have a way with picking out the most exquisite paintings. Such wonderful subject matter. I absolutely adore this piece. It's breathtaking. Who painted it, and what is the name of this masterpiece? I must know. It's called The Blind Girl by John Everett Millais. And you guys should really check out that painting. It is pretty cool. It's got a neat history behind it. Oh, I do hope someday they'll hang me up in that other room. I look forward to seeing what else they have over there. Hey, Fragonard. Yes, young Stefan? While I was over there, I was thinking about something. Well, what is it? We don't have all night to stand around and talk about it. The sun will be up soon, and I do have some things I must be getting to. I was wondering, do you really think I've got what it takes to one day become a great painter? Like one of these artists? Of course I do. All it takes is hard work and a little bit of effort if you want to achieve your dreams. Just like Van Gogh and Seurat, not to forget to mention Thomas Hart Benton, Millet, Homer, Degas, Le Brun, and all the other great painters you've set in front of me for me to view. How will I know if I've worked hard enough like them? Fragonard cleared the oils in his throat and spoke with great wisdom, as he often did. The poet's pen is the poet's truth. For if the poet dies, then the poet's dream must have become real. I'm not sure if I understand. What I'm trying to say, young Stefan, is the stars are still out there, swirling in soft and lightly colored patches of blue, the way Van Gogh intended when his brush moved across the canvas. Find those stars, and when you do, don't give up on them. It would be a shame if you let the dust settle before your dreams fade on the canvas, as will I one day. I think I understand. I suppose now I should continue with my story then. No, wait, there's one more painting I wanted to show you. I don't know what view's better, maybe over here. I'll be right back with it and then you can continue. In the other corner of the room there was a painting Stefan had been looking at when he first heard Fragonard's voice. Fragonard shifted his eyes and said, "You're not going to get one from the other room?" Stefan pulled the painting off the wall and said, "I thought this one would be better to end the story with. It's my second favorite painting in the museum. I always look at it when I come here." He then carried the painting over to the others and set it in the middle of the pile. And by the way, that pile's worth millions if you've been following to the story. Fragonard's eyes lit up. "Oh, Stefan, it's like a strike of inspiration beaming over the horizon. I must ask, how long has this painting been hanging next to me?" "I have no idea, but I stop and look at it every time I come to the museum." "Those are some beautiful sunflowers. Van Gogh did an outstanding job. I can almost smell them from here. It really brightens this room. Holbein would have loved them, if he were still around. I'm sure of it. So can I hear the rest of your story now?" "Oh yes, speaking of which, where did I leave off? I was in the midst of telling you of Bourdon's part in this whole thing. You know, I gave you the short version of his tale. Listening to him babble on about himself and his royal standing with the king often put me to sleep. Well, let me see if I can remember. Oh yeah, he just got done from a long voyage at sea. You were still chained to the wall next to his friend, and I think he was just about to finish with the rest of his story. Ah, yes, I remember now, and things took an interesting turn at quite the odd angle. Stefan sat down on the bench with 2 fingers and a thumb pressed against the sides of his chin and listened to the rest of his story. And like I said, that was a short chapter. It's the end of that chapter, and then we have 2 more chapters left. The next one's called The Algebraic Equation of a Madman, and you're not going to want to miss that one. That was perhaps one of the toughest chapters I've ever written. Let's put this book away. But yeah, that one, The Algebraic Equation of a Madman, truly a masterpiece in art. I don't really want to reveal the artist. I don't think anybody will care, but so the next chapter is heavily induced by M.C. Escher, and I'm probably not going to give away too much, but that should be a fun chapter. It was really difficult. I wrote that chapter when I was in accounting class, but yeah, well, thanks guys for tuning in and saying hello. Yeah, I wrote that in accounting class, but I don't know what I'll do after this. I'll be done Wednesday with the chapter readings from the Magic Paintbrush, if you can even see it. And this is what I've got. Those are the 3 books in the series. Book 2, The Great Storm, The Tale of Ulysses and the Unicorn, and The Magic Paintbrush. But I've never really liked series a whole lot, so I thought, but when I came up with the concept for this book, for this series, I thought, well, let's just make each book a standalone, but we'll intertwine them. And they all came from short story collections that I'd been writing, each one of these stories, and each one of these books, and there'll be 10 books in the series when I get done with all of them. So right now I'm working on the next one in the series. Boy, it's been a hot day. So, but the Magic Paintbrush, boy, that was a fun story. A long road to get there. When I originally wrote it, or at some point before I published it, I kind of came to the realization, and I pulled 9 chapters out and threw them away. And then I severely edited the novel and took a critical look at it, and I inundated it with even more art history than I had in it before. But all the art came from primarily one book, all the artists. They were all personal artists that I personally enjoy. Those are the artists that made it in my novel. And of course, yeah, Escher, I just love Escher, so how can you not? And you gotta have and I thought, if I'm gonna write a book primarily based out of art history, and have that be like a main running theme, then I really thought it over. You got to have Botticelli, because that's like the birth of art, or at least modern art that we know today. I know it's a bit of a far stretch. You got to have El Greco. Fragonard was an easy choice for me. Grant Wood, Renoir. Who else did I have in there? Landseer was one I didn't expect, but I fell in love with his work, so he made it in the book. Escher, of course. Pablo Picasso, that was a no-brainer. So, yeah, I tried to just put a well-rounded group of artists in the novel to kind of be an introduction to people to art history, and I just thought it would be fun, about a boy trapped in a painting. But I think I'll leave it at that for tonight. Nobody stuck around to ask any questions or anything, so that's fine. But hopefully you guys will tune in for the next chapter tomorrow night. Like I said, that'll be a fun one. Truly, I did that in accounting class, and I really racked my brain on that one over the mathematics, the impossible constructions, the fractals. That was a difficult chapter to write, but it was worth it. I think it turned out okay. And I was, when I first started reading my novel online, I was worried, gee, there's got to be a chapter in there that's horribly edited. But actually, I was pretty proud of myself, so. All right, well, I guess I'll leave it at that for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, 6 people jumped on. I don't even understand that. But thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow night. Good night.